Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. What is coming will definitely shake things up a little bit. I think that this will shake up the entire financial system, simply because this is going to be changing a lot of lives. And when I say that, I mean, there's going to be a large portion of the population that just gets completely surprised by what's coming. Central bank digital currencies. Try to have a discussion with somebody outside of crypto about what a CBDC is. They will look at you with complete confusion, like you are speaking a completely different language. There's a big problem around central bank digital currencies. Do you know what that problem is? Undereducated individuals talking about CBDCs. I see it everywhere. I see it getting posted everywhere. I see a lot of talks about CBDCs. One of the biggest problems that I see with it is that people think that this is still some sort of conspiracy theory. Make no mistake, it's happening. And it's been happening for a while now, going all the way back to 2014 when we first seen a major plan around this. But remember, going all the way back to 1993. That's right, 1993. Finland and the Bank of Finland tried to create a digital currency. Now, at that point, it did get canceled, as you guys do see up here. But then after that, 2014, we've seen the rise of them again. And this is actually still in research. Now, as the years have gone on, we'll just say 2 years later, 2016, there's a few more. 3 of them. In fact, 2 of the big 4, England with the United Kingdom, and of course, the Bank of Canada. Fast forward another 2 years to April of 2018. And now we have a lot more here. In fact, we have well over 3 pages with some other big names with China, Japan, the ECB. I mean, this was moving pretty quick. And then again, another 2 years to April of 2020, and now we have the pandemic, and now we are pushing very well towards digital currencies. Because again, remember, fiat cash, physical cash has germs on it. You gotta get away from it. The problem is that they utilize the pandemic as an example to push for a CBDC, and it right under everyone's noses. Guess what? It's happening. Fast forward another 2 years, and we have well over, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 pages. 12 pages of CBDCs. That's right. And now, today, well, it's well over 15 plus pages with almost every single major nation pushing for a CBDC, with 90% of all central bankers moving on with CBDC research, pilots, proof of concepts, you name it. And we even have a few that are launched. And now we have the big central bankers telling you that everything is fine. We do see over here. Well, CBDC is here. The ECB is set to give the formal green light to a digital euro in October, and the expectation is that it will be available from 2027 onwards. The EU will take the next crucial step on Wednesday towards launching a digital version of the euro, a controversial project that has come under attack from the public, politicians, and banks before it even exists. And we do see down here, check this out. To calm people's fears, the ECB has stressed it would not attempt to control how people can spend the digital currency or use it for surveillance, as critics claim in the case in China. The biggest problem that I have with this is that if they have to take that extra step to tell you that your fears are they're welcomed, but they're not needed because everything's going to be fine, and you're going to have your privacy. We're not going to track and try to control and trace all your stuff. That becomes a problem to me, because if they have to take that extra step, then something is up. And we recently just seen that with the digital pound as well. We do see the digital pound will be pseudonymous with a focus on privacy, the Bank of England CBDC chief said. Again, I don't trust these central bankers. Look at what trusting central bankers got us. $32 trillion in debt in the US. our economy is completely destroyed. The US dollar, ever since the inception of the Federal Reserve, has lost its value. So, should we trust these central bankers? Comment down below if you think that we should trust these bankers. And also hit that like button if you think that we shouldn't trust these central bankers, because I sure do not trust these central bankers. We do see over here, central bank digital currencies are all the rage at the World Economic Forum meetings in China. From June 28th, we do see governments can program CBDCs to restrict undesirable purchases, set expiry dates, the World Economic Forum Summer Davos in China. And here you guys have the source. So through programmability, they could pretty much do anything, right? We've talked about this a little bit. And I do have a lot of concerns around CBDCs. I do think that private sector players should 100% be a part of the CBDC development scene. The thing is, a lot of people think that we could stop CBDCs. I've been seeing a lot of people say, write to the governor in your state. Because with North Carolina, they recently just banned payments in CBDCs and prohibited North Carolina from participation in any CBDC testing. Now, of course, a lot of people will say this is great and North Carolina is safe and all this kind of stuff. I want to talk to you guys about something here in a second. Florida also recently, DeSantis actually signed a CBDC bill into law restricting some uses of US and foreign CBDCs. Now, again, this seems like a victory. Seems like, hey, this is great. This is awesome. Let's welcome this. And we even do see a few quotes. I think they want to crowd out and eliminate other types of digital assets like cryptocurrency because they can't control that. So they don't like that. We looked at that and said, we are not going to add central bank digital currency to our commercial code, but we also said we need to add protections for Floridians against this. And so we'll put in the uniform commercial code that CBDC is something we don't recognize. This bill stipulates that transactions involving CBDCs won't be afforded the usual UCC protections, potentially dissuading entities or individuals from engaging in such transactions with CBDCs. Now, again, do I think that this is awesome? 100%. Listen, I don't like retail CBDCs at all. But I think that this quote here from James Wallace from Ripple pretty much sums up everything around this and why this actually isn't a major stepping stone in CBDCs and blocking CBDCs.
My immediate reaction is I think there's some more education needed in the marketplace. I think there's a lot of discussion around a CBDC, what it is, what it isn't. Is it the government going to be spying on citizens? All this kind of thing. So I think there's a education required. At the end of the day, I think the federal government trumps state governments in this. But I think really, I don't think the citizens have anything to be concerned about. CBDC is a digital representation of fiat currency. It's likely to get implemented in pretty much every country around the world. It's coming. There are going to be some great advantages to it, great use cases that will, people will get benefit from. So I see news like that. I think, okay, well, this will probably disappear when people get a bit smarter, a bit more educated about what's really going to happen.
And again, I don't think that it's just like an education thing. I think that we should be concerned. I think that being concerned is healthy, especially when we are talking about central bankers and programmable money. I do like the fact that private entities like Ripple are a part of this, simply because I do think that private and public players should be a part of this entire move. Ripple obviously being a private entity, I think that it's welcomed that they are a part of this because, they could restrict a lot of the rogue programmable ideas around CBDCs. But what he does mention is that federal law overall will triumph over state law. So these states banning CBDCs, it's great. It's a great look. But ultimately speaking, we will still see them on a federal level, which will, stomp out any sort of law against CBDCs. Again, we'll have to wait and see. In my opinion, CBDCs are happening, whether we like it or not. I do think that Ripple being a part of this journey is still beneficial because they could ultimately help protect the retail sector from the central bankers overstepping. But again, I do fear that CBDCs, if they do happen, when they do happen, because it's not an if, it's actually when, It's definitely going to be concerning. We'll have to wait and see. I've also talked about how CBDCs are more so for wholesale, so the central bankers, and stablecoins will most likely be for the retail sector, which will be welcomed in. I actually welcome stablecoins rather than CBDCs, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. We do know Ripple has their CBDC platform specifically designed for CBDC lifecycle, issuance of it as well, all that kind of stuff. Now with this, we also do see over here, Amazon and IMF collaborating in pilot program for a new CBDC proposed by the IMF and central bankers. This is from Cowboy Crypto. He's actually quoting Lord XRP over on Twitter. Amazon collaborating in pilot program for new CBDC proposed by the IMF and central bankers. What do you see down here? Amazon collaborating in pilot program for new CBDC proposed by the IMF with, of course, the monetary authority. And then down here, we do see Amazon.com, with RippleNet use cases. By joining RippleNet, banks, payment providers, exchanges, and corporates can address many commercial use cases, including, and of course, you have all of the major use cases here. And then over here, we do see 4 images. The first one, for those who don't know already, the Federal Reserve joined the U.S. Faster Payments Council as a founding sponsor. The founder of the U.S. Faster Payments Council is the head of product at Amazon Payments and is a member of FedNow Community Group. The only crypto company representing the U.S. Faster Payments Council is Ripple. Craig DeWitt was their vice chair before leaving. Now 2 Ripple executives hold leadership roles within this working group, Pat Thelen and James Selleck. Then over here are a few words from an ex-CFO of Amazon, Warren Jensen, on his new role as the chair of the audit committee for Ripple. What Ripple has already accomplished in terms of payments technology and industry leadership has been a game changer for crypto and more broadly the whole of financial services. And what do you see? Here you guys have the quote. Again, this is huge. This is massive. And this just happened recently, by the way. Then over here, this report listing XRP as a virtual currency by Sullivan and Cromwell is directly from the IMF website. And here you guys have that report. Again, as we do look at what's happening here, the connections are stacked for Ripple and XRP. Some notable guest names at Ripple swell this year: Jordan Lambert, MasterCard Chief Digital Officer; Derek Walton, Bank of America, Head of GTS Emerging Payments and Innovation. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name. Amazon Web Services Global Head. Again, connections. They mean a lot. And also just recently, Ripple partner Volante completes FedNow testing with Custodian Bank. And of course, they're asking XRP to $1. No, not anytime soon here, at least. I would love to be wrong though. But yeah, there's a ton of Ripple partners on board with the Federal Reserve and with the FedNow. It's happening July 20th. Kristen Robertson from Ripple partner Finastra. July 20th is the magic date. This got posted by ISO2002 over on Twitter.
Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome back to our show. And on today's program, we have Kristen Robertson from the fine organization called Finastra. Kristen, how are you today? Good to see you.
I'm doing just fine, Mike. Nice to see you as well.
Yay. Well, today we're talking about a super fascinating topic that I'm going to be all transparent here, that I just basically just found out about. My gosh, I'm in the financial services industry. Why did I not know this? But anyway, I digress on that. The Federal Reserve's new payments rail called FedNow, which is going to be starting up, I think in July. Is that correct, Kristen? Somewhere?
July 20th is the magic day. Where
That's the big day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're talking to you today about how Finastra is going to be working with credit unions and community banks to help them prepare for what's about to happen here. Mike Lawson here.
So yeah, July 20th, FedNow. A lot of people believe that this is the infrastructure that CBDCs will be built upon within the US. I believe that it could very well be that. The big question is, will Ripple be involved? And from all of the connections, listen, I don't have a 100% certainty, but it looks like Ripple could be tied to this. It will definitely be interesting to see when things do go live, if anything does get announced or anything like that. But as we do look at CBDCs, they are happening, they are coming. I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there around CBDCs. Again, do I think that this could lead to central bankers controlling our everyday life? Hey, I don't write anything out. I think that we should be concerned. I think it's healthy to be concerned until our concerns are not warranted. So I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to be neutral here. We have seen it in other areas that these CBDCs are extremely rogue for central bankers to control people. So I do have a lot of concerns with this, especially as the World Economic Forum is, mentioning a lot of things around programmability and stuff like that. At first, the big thing to me is why would central bankers want to restrict what you are purchasing and restrict your purchases when they enrich themselves off of us purchasing things? And then also number 2 is, if nobody's purchasing anything, the economy is not growing, GDP is not growing. So what really do they benefit from that besides just control? I do still think that CBDCs have a lot of problems tied to them. I think that privacy 100% needs to be focused on. That's why also Ripple is focused on privacy. They've talked about it many times in the past. But 90% of the global countries are moving towards a CBDC. It's happening. It's real. It's, not a conspiracy theory. We need to be hyper focused on this subject. And I also think that we need to be accumulating assets to prepare for this as well. Make sure that we have assets that are not on chain, that can be tracked or traced and things like that. We need to 100% prepare. We 100% need to prepare. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.